Welcome back, another episode of Learning the Hard Way, number 31, and this week we've got Adam coming over for another design meeting. We've been nominated for an award and my Monday has started terribly. So not the start of the week that we really wanted, but very common. So little niggles today so far have been, we've had deliveries in grab lorries not turning up. And then we had Finn heading over to go and do a job that we were on last week. So we went to wrap up today and the client's electric gates won't open, so we can't get in. So that is also frustrating. Good news is we've won a little project. I now have, I guess saying the positive, we now have Finn relatively free. So as you can see, we've got a bit of a hardwood vehicle lineup over there. He's giving everything a good wash and clean. So pretty happy about that. We have Adam coming over for another design meeting. So we are still getting there with the design work on what we hope to turn our space eventually into. Not sure yet if any of it's going to be shared on here just yet. It needs to go off to a few people and potential collaborators first, whilst it is sort of private and exclusive, but we will of course be sharing it as soon as we can. This is the first time I've actually seen it paired up with Christie's visualization service, so it feels very real, and I'm still sort of just constantly looking around thinking, wow, can't actually imagine that this site has the potential to turn into what we are going to turn it into.
So what do you think of it?
Yeah, a bit speechless, to be honest. It's just, you know, it's
a rare thing.
Yeah, probably. I think at the moment I've normally got quite a lot to say. But no, as I was saying to her, you know, I just think at the stage this company's at and the stage I'm at within this company and the amount that I've got, you know, emotionally invested more than anything, it's really amazing to be presented something like that, which you sort of go, oh, that's why we're doing all of this and why the day-to-day headaches and heartaches and ball aches are worth it, basically, because that's what's on the horizon. So to see it in something as tangible as, you know, photorealistic 3D animation is pretty incredible, really.
It's actually been quite difficult from a point of view of the scope was so vast from a point of view of what we could do here. Actually trying to, you know, laser focus down on a finished concept design that's going to work for you.
Yeah,
it's been a real challenge. We've enjoyed it, and again, pity we can't share at the minute. But what's been created, I think, is, you know, eventually when it gets constructed, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
All of this serves what will be our design studios. So it's, you know, it's Sussex barn style buildings, all open plan, a huge amount of glass that look out onto what is essentially a really beautiful garden. Oh, and we found a way of incorporating the silos into the design as well. They're not totally going. They are, you know, they are grain silos, but they're part of the history of this place. So they
found a way in,
have a
didn't they?
small part to play. Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting, and I know you see a lot of me and Adam just sort of standing here talking about everything, but you know, as you'll obviously see more of Adam on the channel, and as you see more and more of him, the design will be becoming public, and then really getting hands-on in making his design and his vision a reality.
Well, I can't wait to see the den. That's going to be the thing.
We'll open it up. All the YouTube subscribers can come and have a look. Well done, looks better. What did you think of the design?
It's really look like a yard.
Yeah, but it's not a yard, Finn. This is the yard. That's not the yard.
It comes to the new yard design.
As you saw in the visuals, it's Porsches only, apparently. Well, I think there were 6 cars visualised, 4 of them were Porsches, so I'm going to have to buy a Porsche. I'm very tired. Oh. I've got Neville coming down on Monday, as I said, who you may well have seen on these videos as well if you've been watching for a while. So he's our business consultant. So he's the one who says whether and how this is all actually going to work. As I have touched on and have spoken about publicly, we are positioning ourselves for a raise. We want to sell part of Hardwood Landscapes to get a cash injection, but it's not just money. The main motivator is building a board of directors who can all bring something amazing into the company. You know, I've got it to this far and I'm taking the jump with YouTube, etc., and trying to publicly do things differently. I think a huge thing for the next stage of our growth is going to be collaboration and collaborating with the right people and allowing them to have the opportunity and to be invested in the vision, and that design plays a huge part in it as well. I will obviously now be able to show him all of this, which is great. So looking forward to getting his reaction and his reality check that I'm sure will come with it. I know that there's so much ahead of me still, and actually we're way down, and we're actually only just starting to take a few steps up the mountain that we need to. So yeah, it's good, it is exciting. It'll be worth the wait, I promise. So the future is certainly exciting. Down in Brighton, however, Andy is not off to a great start.
Really sucks. It really sucks. Like with electrical work, it's always just like so many tiny little bits. You need so many like little elements of like little things. Harry and Charlie did this build. They've done really well. Really nice finish. The steps look wonderful. Looks really smart. So yeah, boys have done well. Today I've just basically been doing the lighting, but sort of slowly starting to wrap up the electrics now. It's just a wise box, which is this guy here. It's what we sort of use the most. So you basically just power that with mains power, and then you run, this is a 4 circuit, so it's basically got 4 different circuits, so you can do 4 different zones if you want to, or in this case we've just got the 3. Got the step lights, which is basically just the lights in these little beds. We've got another zone of just all the sort of beds around the perimeter of the build, which again is just the spike lights, and we've just got the pergola on the other circuit. Relatively simple install here. Just Ortus spike lights in the bed. They've sort of just been dotted out freely because the clients are going to do planting. So I've sort of left them a bit sort of like here, there and everywhere, and then once they sort of decide what they're going to get and where they're going to plant, they can basically, should be enough left on the cable to sort of move the lights into positions they want and where they think they need that sort of like little glow. Yeah, all in all, like pretty straightforward day. Busy, tiring as ever. Just time consuming, fiddly, loads and loads of different little connections at every light and every little bit. So it's it just takes time. But yeah, we're getting there.
It's Tuesday and we are back at the office after going to see Harry this morning. So as you can see, great progress up there, looks really good. Hopefully I captured some good bits on my little camera. We have potentially got a little bit of a planning permission issue battle on our hands. Confident it's not going to turn into anything, and if you've watched these vlogs for a while you will know how much time, effort and money we have put into those containers, so would be really gutted to have to put them somewhere else or just try and come up with something. So I've actually also gone and had a look at some other offices today, just to make sure we've got options if that's what it comes to, just trying to be prepared, but certainly at this stage not preempting having to move. That would be, yeah, pretty frustrating. AD's in, so having a bit of an office and a systems catch up. We're looking at bringing our payroll in-house now, looking at ways where we can remove reliance on the accountants that we use. As you know, again, through watching these vlogs, we have just got through our second accountancy company. We have another one that we are in talks with at the moment, but want to see how much we can actually bring in-house just to remove dependence and reliance on them. We've got, obviously had our design presentations yesterday, which is still sort of flying through my head. It's very exciting and actually has been a real motivator when there's quite a lot of pretty stressful things going on in the background. Office afternoon for me, bit of a reset, bit of a catch up, get some quotes out. We've got people in for interviews tomorrow. Yeah, I've got plenty to do. I'll make the most of 5 minutes with the dogs in the sunshine now, and then headphones on and just try and be productive. As you've been following these vlogs for a while, which I assume you have, and if you haven't, welcome to the page. We have been having a bit of an issue on our recently completed East Horsley project. Now, we are confident in the diagnosis and the recommended solution for the issue. What we are currently exploring is liability and where blame lands and who pays, essentially. It's business, so money, as usual, is the stumbling block, but everything is very positive and very amicable, and the relationship between sort of all parties involved has remained professional, and yeah, it's all good. But unfortunately, that means there is still a big hole in the corner of what was a really immaculately finished garden. And why that is an issue is this project is actually, we've put it in for a couple of build awards, so it's coming out to be assessed for that. So it's pretty gutting that it isn't looking as we feel it should. Yeah, it's a real shame, but there's not really anything we can do about it. I will obviously make sure I'm there in good time to be there when the assessor arrives. I can explain the situation and what's going on and how we're putting it all back together. I'm sure he will understand, but yeah, frustrating for sure. These awards are really important for us as a company to continue to show that not only are we sort of talking the talk, but we can actually walk the walk as well. I'll let you know how it goes. I have got my secretaries with me and I am going to be there hopefully about 45 minutes ahead of the assessment, so one last check, one last opportunity to get any little dead leaves, etc. off and out of the way.
I'm at one of my favourite properties today. There's never a favourite client, but in terms of the actual gardens, this is probably one of my tops. It's a big job. For me, it's an enjoyably big job, predominantly because it's a small estate, really. It's 36 acres in total. I'm managing about 7 acres of formal gardens. So I'm cutting up the ceanothus at the moment. Sometimes I might hedge trim, but for this one it's a little unhealthy, so I'm going for secateurs. It means I can just keep it nice and tidy, and actually I'm cutting it in a slightly less formal way, a little bit more naturalistic. Hence secateurs are very, very useful because I can get in and do a little bit of detailing. The trick is 15 years of doing it and a huge amount of experience. Every so often stopping, standing back and looking at it from a distance, not getting too focused on the little bits, just look at the bigger picture. And that's how we deal with an estate as well. A large garden, look at the overall picture, not just the minute details. So I've been focusing on everything around the house, just getting things a little bit sharper near the house so the client can see, yeah, this is what's happening. It's listening to my client. What is it they're after? What is it my client is expecting from me? So I've spent today working up in about an acre of the property. The front will be the next week's job because it's the first impact, it's the first thing they see when they drive into their house. Once I've done that, I'm going to start looking further afield. I'm going to start looking out towards the edge of the formal area into the more natural, wilder areas. I've spoken about creating paths through some of the old great big shrubberies that have got too big. Being able to mix that formal but in a large space and then merge that into the more natural, wider landscape, bringing that into part of this landscape, that excites me. It is fun.
Yeah, looking good in the green. Yeah, unfortunately it hasn't got a nice new logo just yet, but I do like the green. It's a nice colour. I don't really have a preference with landscaping and the maintenance. Like, it's really nice to do something different. It's pretty cool. We've just finished the wildflower harvest, if you will. Bringing all of the wildflower cuttings, as you can see there's piles here, some piles behind you. This is the last of the big pile, that's why the trailer's not quite full. So I'll be tipping that off and then just checking with Jay if there's any more for me to collect before heading off to help another person on a different site, basically.
So that went really well, I think. I mean, I've got no idea really. We won't find out until next March, so yeah, bit of a wait, but that's okay. It was very encouraging. Our assessor had some really lovely things to say about the work which the guys had done. So yeah, thank you so much again to all of the hardwood team that worked on that one. Yeah, huge thanks to the clients, huge thanks to my team. Let's see if we come away with an award. Up in London, our team are making really good progress. The garden is nearly there and looking fantastic. Let's go and have a look.
We are back in Putney, back on the project for the Botanical Gardener with Jack. Sort of entering our final couple of weeks up here now, really. So at the moment, we're just trying to put a little bit of love into this really, really old and rather weathered wall. This was the worst bit, so this lintel had completely dropped. And also there was a big hump in this part of the wall. So we've dropped that, rebuilt that so it's nice and flat. I think people over the years who have owned this property have had little sections of this wall repointed because there's all sorts of different pointing. We've taken the worst of all the old pointing out, really sort of like scraped it back, ground it back where it needs to be, and then we're just sort of repointing over the worst of it. So yeah, Jack's done a lot of it, he's done a really good job. It's pretty tedious, but as you can see, he's cross-legged, relaxed, focused. Aren't you, my man? Yeah, so from when you were last here, maybe a week ago, a fair bit's been happening. We had a couple of the guys from the Botanical Gardener who were doing the project for or with. They ran the irrigation in for us, which just gave us a little bit of breathing space on the build. And also we helped them get the planting in and got everything sort of planted up, which is looking, it's looking fantastic. It's always just such a nice moment when the actual sort of like shrubs and greenery goes in. It goes from that really hard structural build to suddenly you can see the reasons why it's designed and built the way it is. In this corner here, I think we mentioned before, there's going to be a worktop to house a pizza oven on top, and it will have like Iroko wood doors built in, so for storage. But then apart from that, the benches are basically finished, the oak benches, and then the fire pit, which was, yeah, a technical challenge. I've never really built anything like that before. It's a real nice feature to this garden. It's going to give them that chance to just kind of escape that London life, I guess, and just suddenly feel like you're tucked away in the mountains around the fire pit sort of thing. So yeah, it's a real nice vibe. It's a beautiful garden. I think they designed it really well. So yeah, we're getting there. It's looking great. Clients are happy. So yeah, we're certainly on that sort of like end in sight.
So as I said, it's looking great up there. Well done, guys. And now back into the countryside. We've got another team working on another wall. Let's head over to Hambledon and see what they're up to.
Yeah, Sam's become quite the craftsman on the mixer. He's producing some lovely mortar these days, consistently, which is great. So we're back in Hambledon. Stone wall's coming on. We're sort of waist height up now. Gone for a bird's beak style of pointing. So that's where you sort of tuck your small tool in along the edge of the stone to define the edge of the stone, and then sort of a higher profile in the middle. It's always one of those things that if you haven't done it for a while, the first few courses, you can get drawn into sort of over worrying about how the stones fit together. But actually then when you stand back and you've pointed it all up, it always looks really nice, and part of the beauty of it is it's quite a natural feature. But no, definitely feel like I'm getting my eye in again and speeding up a little bit, and yeah, starting to put a few features into it as well. The wall's tied into this existing brick wall with these wall plates, so they're fixed to the wall, bolted to the wall, and then these little tabs fold down that tie into your brick levels. So actually they come off of there, and then you can slide them up and down to sort of tie into your course. Sam's getting the hang of pointing really nicely. He's yeah, got the eye for it. It's a bit of an art, so yeah, coming along.
See, last week we found this stone, didn't we? Today we're going to be laying it.
We wanted to put Sam's stone as a bit of a feature somewhere a bit higher up than at the bottom. So Sam's been learning and progressing and getting himself ready to chuck it in.
He's letting me do this one myself. And we have found the perfect spot. Centre of the wall, high up enough so you can see it just by looking. Can't wait any longer. Feels like the right moment, you know.
There you go, mate, it's all you.
This side. We've reached the peak of the day, obviously, now that the stone's gone in. That was the big moment for such a day. But as you can see, it looks great. And it's something that I can maybe put a few more down, maybe, get a bit better at it.
Yeah, clients seem really happy. He's often in and out of his office up there, and every time he comes past, he makes a comment saying, yeah, saying how nice it's all looking. So it's just that job satisfaction that kind of part of the reason we do this.
So that's it, another week here at Hardwood. We've got pretty happy clients all around. Thank you very much to all my guys for your hard work. Remember to subscribe to these videos, click the like button, and I will see you next week.